Mm.
Hello, 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 everyone. What's up?
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you guys for joining us. It's the Committed Chronicles with
Yeah.
Sonny and Lisa. I'm Lisa, this is Sonny, and we are co-founders of Committed to Us, a community of like-minded people who are in committed relationships who want to just talk about all things marriage, discuss all things marriage, go through the highs and lows of marriage, and let you know that you're not alone.
Hmm. Yep. We want to create a safe space and you know, just more of a fun and growing atmosphere at the same time. Talked to several people this week. Talked to them about our main goals is trying to create a community um, safe enough and big enough to actually affect our children and stop this divorce rate from being at what 51%, whatever it is. Try to combat that because obviously we've had other things in place for a while now, and that's the rate we're at. So not blaming anybody for not doing a good enough job, but we're trying something a little different. So welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
um,
And I mean, there is a movement. There are some like-minded
yes, yeah,
movements
actually, yeah, we
that
have
believe the same things that we do.
Right.
So we just want to join that movement
Yes.
and be pro healthy marriages.
I think California, there's a big movement there.
Okay.
We met. That's the people we first met are from California, or maybe from DC. Are they from DC originally? They live in California now.
Mhm.
So there's some people there, a couple other places, but really in the grand scheme of things, not a lot. So we're trying to start here, where they're starting their stuff there, and we're trying to sometimes collaborate, but hopefully we can bring this thing in the Midwest to be at least catch up to where they're at, and then hopefully keep growing as they grow, and then merge.
Yeah.
So
Because we are advocates of healthy marriages, and I think just in society, and I will keep saying that in society has made it where marriages are disposable, and so we want to create those real talks, those real conversations that impress upon people that you can work through your stuff. Like you don't have to be in that space where you're hopeless, where you're thinking that there's nothing that can help you and things like that. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, now in my back of my head, I'm thinking I get why a lot of people do, because if they don't have a group of people, if not part of a fellowship at a church or something,
right?
And now they're watching their celebrities, I kind of see why they start feeling hopeless. Because if you Will Smith, you 6 foot whatever, a millionaire, think you got your stuff together and you still can't make somebody happy, I say that because that's the way most people think. But yeah, I can see why.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're trying to change the culture, and even with that, there's always that thing when you're growing up, and if you have children, you want that village around you to help raise your children. Well, I really feel that marriages need that village around them to help them through the stuff. I just think, like I said, it's easy.
Yeah.
To
And we have gotten away to that village mentality, more of a crab in a barrel society now.
Yeah.
So.
For me, and you don't have what's going on with me, but
All right.
I get that. So, how was your week, Mr. Williams? What were your wins, victories? What made you smile?
I think you said something to me today, gave me a compliment, and that made me. That was my earlier today. I got a compliment, so I don't even remember the rest of the week now. I'm floating from that, so I'm good. Yeah.
And let me just preface that it was
forced.
It was semi-forced. Not that I did not believe that, but I did not realize that those exact words mean a lot. So yeah,
not to be exact, but yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the only thing that made you smile this week.
No, not the only thing. I'm just that was the last thing that is just I'm floating from that. Anyway, how's your week?
My week has been well. We tried to go see Ricky Smiley this past Friday. his flight was late, so we ended up not getting to see him. But we did have a wonderful dinner with some of our couple friends, and it was
At a
great
nice place.
at a
That was
nice
a
place.
very
So
nice
we went
place.
to I think Kona Grill. I've
Yeah.
never been there before, so that was my first time. So it was a wonderful experience. We got to laugh and got to be on a date and act grown up. So no children were around. There was, just an adult atmosphere. And I think as couples, we definitely need those moments where it's just us, so that we can, pour into each other and just be in that same safe space.
Yep. Real quick, mic check. If y'all can hear us, somebody type something in the chat. Let us know.
Okay. I think we're
Make sure we're everything is squared away.
okay. So hot topic. So, and this is something that my daughter, we were actually, I guess it was on social media, and it's about dating, but she kind of, it was on social media, and then it ended up, I think DL Hughley talked about it. So it was like a whole avalanche of things, but it was a woman, I guess she had just met a guy and they had went out on a date. And I don't know if I missed the beginning portion of it, but the portion that I came in on is that he took her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she then went live. And
while they was there?
Yeah, I think they were in the parking lot. She went live and like berated him because she basically was saying, I look too good for you to take me on a date to the Cheesecake Factory.
Did she tell him that? Or
She
she
told
just
him
went
on
straight to
live.
live?
She
went straight to live and said
I think she may have started speaking about it and then she went live. And so he got in the car and he said, let's have a conversation about it then. He said, you're gonna put me on blast, let's have this conversation. And so, she was like, this was not my expectation, and he, came back, and I give kudos to him because he came back and he said, my expectation was to keep you safe, was to provide you with a safe atmosphere and everything that you would want a relationship or a date to be, not the place that you went. So, she she caught a lot of flack because I think that
ended up looking superficial.
Well, you can't look any more superficial than cheesecake. I mean, you compare the fact that a person has asked you out on a date and taken you to a place. Now, you're right. It may not be a Cameron Mitchell restaurant or something like that. And
what did they say? What date it was? Is that like the first date? Or is it?
I was thinking it was their first date.
Okay.
I was thinking it was their first date, and I had to chuckle because I'm like, shoot, when you get married, you like places like that, cheesecake. I mean, because it can't be. It cannot be Cameron Mitchell. I mean, unless you just got it like that. Now, we were, and I still don't know if we would, if we were balling like that, would we do expensive things all the time? Sometimes it's nice just to take it down a level and just enjoy each other. So I thought it was materialistic. But I think, she was younger, so we always come into the mindset that we're a little bit older and, we've been through some things. I just think that on the big scheme of things, I think back into my dating time, before you and when we were dating, I think our place was Ruby Tuesday.
It was.
So it was. I should guess be in my feelings about that. because
that's actually, I mean, we had conversations before we went out, first of all, and I remember that asking you questions and getting Ruby Tuesday from you. I got that from you. I had never been there before.
Okay.
So the location, actually, I was smart enough to see what places you mentioned, and liked to at least go there. Regardless of what scale I thought it was, if I knew it was somewhere you liked, then at least I know I'm in that ballpark. Instead of taking you somewhere you like, I don't even like this place.
So let me ask you this: if I had been talking and I was saying that I need the J. Alexanders, I need the Ruth Chris, like that's where I want to go each and every time, you would have done that?
No. No, absolutely.
Really?
Not.
You wouldn't have?
No, I'm just gonna tell you. I mean, if you're actually
because you would have thought that I was materialistic and I was out for something.
Depending on what other conversations we had, yeah. If anything else would have matched that and you'd have came like that, that'd have been like a mental note. Like let me put that little in the back of my head that you really just rating off of just where we're going and how much it costs. And yeah, because it's a lot more to life than just how much. Obviously, you can see these people have gotten mad money.
Okay.
So it's way more to life than that.
Okay. It made me feel sad. I mean, like I said, my daughter was watching it, so I guess I'm in the thought process of, um, let's see.
There you go.
Okay. What is it?
Kind of a happy medium.
Yeah, I need a I need a happy medium. Like so a yin and a yang. Like we can dress up and do a big one, but some days I want the less fuss, and I don't know. It was very materialistic, and I think that kind of puts women in a very negative space.
Wait a minute, what? Say that again.
Not a negative space, but it makes us seem we already we already got the notion that we are gold diggers. Like some women are gold diggers, and if you proceed to go down that route, even if you're the nicest person, I mean, even if that's just your preference, I think there has to be a little bit of give. Like I that just wouldn't have been my first.
That's why I said with other conversation and other, like if you show that and consistently show up that way, then yeah, at that point you just got to watch. Just like I would tell women to watch men, for red flags or for things that are not within your realm or you're outside of your boundaries.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not. It may be for somebody else, but it wouldn't have been for me. You see what I mean? So you got to know yourself and your boundaries.
But case in point, I don't think if your only place that you were taking me was McDonald's or Burger King, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way.
Like you said, a happy medium. I don't think that again would have been, you need to be looking for a red flag if that's the only places I'm taking. So I'm not speaking just from a perspective of a male.
Thrifty people.
Yeah, that's not thrifty.
That's thrifty. That's cheap.
Yeah, that's a different word. But the same thing. Your boundaries.
Okay.
And what you are willing to. But obviously, you don't want to have unrealistic expectations. That's the part where it gets a little unhealthy and a little out of whack. So yeah, reasonable.
Okay. I just think it's a hard. If you start. Very good. Right, very good. Yes, absolutely. I just think if you set the bar up so high, if that's your expectation, the moment that, not that you don't feel like it, but the moment you want to do something different, you're going to be penalized for that. Like, say they were doing this date and she made this big deal and he was like, you know what, you put me on Front Street, let me just switch and try to find a place. That kind of is going to make her feel like she can get her way. All she got to do is manipulate and get her way, and B, that's going to make him basically count his days that he's going to probably be wanting to pursue her.
Well, that's interesting. That's very good. I like that.
You like that?
Okay. I like how you said that.
How I summed that up. Yeah. I mean, I'm an advocate for being treated nice. I just think. But on the same road, if you take me out to an expensive restaurant, that does not, when we're dating, did not mean that you were automatically gonna get something.
Okay, I don't even go into that route with it, but I guess what I'm saying is when you just called her manipulative, when you said that word,
yes,
it seems like if a man says that out the gate, could be a backlash, could be, whoa, how you gonna say she's this and that, or just like calling gold digger or any other words you used. It don't seem like we can get that off as smoothly as you just did. I mean, it's just me. I don't know. I mean, somebody help me.
Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with preferring the finer things, but you should be able to provide it right at that level for yourself. Absolutely. So I think that is where, I think, and like I said, I don't know if it's a society that, a man is supposed to take care of you. I think as women, sometimes we can run away with that. Because while I like to be taken care of, right, Tracy, before you demand it. I like to be taken care of. I am okay because I know I can do it myself too. Like, I don't need those. Those are nice cherries on the top when, but I know if I wanted that kind of meal, I can do that definitely for myself. So. Okay. You are okay. So is that you already know to the if I take you out for a nice something nice, I get something nice in return? What is that in reference to? Because then we're just in a business transaction, right?
You keep bringing that up. I'm talking
I'm just
about.
at,
Yeah, I
I'm
ain't even
just
talking about that.
okay.
I'm just talking about the
Okay.
expectations and stuff like that. And I'm laughing at when you're talking like that. It's funny how the dynamics work. How society
can
could come
say it.
in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
I
come
can
in and
say
say
it,
the
yeah.
same things. If I said it, then it'd be kind of weird or off-putting. And then and then too, if you're saying like when you say y'all can run away with that, if I say that, it'd be off-putting. So it's just like where can we actually be honest about that, or think somebody's being manipulative or running away with something or taking it for granted or all that. When we go to say that, usually that's not received well. So
Okay.
how do you determine that? But I can't. Where can I get that VIP pass? Where I can,
Okay,
where I can
so
say the things you're saying.
okay, so what we have learned is that sometimes even when you and I are communicating, it's not received well. But if I hear it from another person that's not as close, it can be taken in. So I think sometimes for women, we can tell another woman because we've been there that you're doing too much. And just like y'all can tell a man, you need to step it up. Like y'all can do things where if a woman is telling that man that same thing, it's just not going to go over well. So sometimes you need that person that's in that man or that woman that's just like you to have that conversation. So
are you saying that it can't be said by men? It needs to be another woman.
I'm not saying that it can't be said by a man. I just think
like Marcus said, you need to have an honest conversation, which I get that. Is that what I mean? Is that how y'all feel too, or is that
an honest conversation like what?
Like a man can honestly sit down and be like, hey, you're taking advantage, you're going too far. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I think you should be able to have that honest conversation. I'm not saying that it's going to go over like you're right. I took it too far. Like
and nobody's going to admit there being a.
But it's not that I would not think about it. I may not say it immediately, but the thought has been placed and it's been planted. So yeah, I may sit back like I did too much. That was crazy. Okay. I should have done it a different route to get a different outcome.
Okay, I like the honesty in it. I like that. No, I mean, it's good to hear because you learn. You learn more than just the top what you want when you're saying things like that.
Right. And you need to, and I think that's the whole thing, the honest conversations. I think it is very hard if that is not established in the beginning. To an extent, right?
Well, yeah. You don't want to be late trying to do it for sure because it's going to be the earlier the better. Yeah. I do agree with that.
But I know we were talking with some couples earlier today, the word boundaries. I think, now with mental health being so at the forefront, we've now learned words for what, we need and what we should be doing. So the words like trigger and boundaries, I don't know if we ever thought about those way back then. So I didn't know what it was, what my boundaries were because it was never presented in that format.
Right. And we're still having the same emotions back then without the tools.
Right. So we have the same emotions without the tools, and we're wondering why we are not getting along and not being able to move through some things. But I mean, and it was really hard for me to get to the place. Like I understand having boundaries with friends and stuff like that. But I think even in marriage, I don't think that that's impressed upon that there should be boundaries in marriage. Like, I don't think that that's when you say boundaries in marriage, it's looked at as a selfish. Yeah. Selfish thing. Yeah. Okay. Choose. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I have nothing else plans. I don't need more than. Oh well. Whoa. Okay. Well. Yeah. So basically, he had to step up.
Okay.
or bow out. Like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and
communication.
Yeah. Point with that. So let me just ask the people that are on. So what are your feelings about like dating because we haven't even gotten to the marriage part, but like for men, because I've always felt that if a man is dating, he is going to know within that first year. Like I for whatever reason, it is a trigger for me to be dating a person 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know
when
why.
you hear that.
When I hear
you
that.
ain't never done that.
No, exactly. I've never done that.
Right.
So the concept of 5, 10, like where is that conversation? Like if someone is saying, I really
how's that happen?
Yeah. How do men
I have wondered that. How does that happen where somebody say they've been engaged for 10, 15 years or dating for whatever, 8 years, and then that is interesting to me because it does seem like you are stringing somebody along at some point.
Right.
So I do agree with that. And then again, dating for you is different. Some people, I don't know what is dating. What does that mean for some people? I don't know if they really had a outline of what that meant, and maybe the two people had two different meanings of it. I don't know because I know there's like different versions of dating. The people when you say are you dating a person, it means different to different people. I think.
Okay, I'll give you that because I know So whether it's dating, courting, like I think in my early 20s when I was in college, I guess dating
because a lot of there's people who say because when you're saying dating, I think you're saying courting. And there's some people who say you're dating because one lady I know, she said I forget her name, but she was saying you should date several people, but then when you figure out that there's somebody you have more of a connection. Like when she's saying dating, she's saying get to know, not no more than that. Like not having any sexual relationships. You are just, getting to know that person or getting to know several people, but it doesn't become intimate yet. So when you want to become intimate, then you're moving to like a courting or something else. Okay. So she called dating that. Okay. In that box, that's what she called dating, and I don't know if everyone does that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so
some people call dating.
So maybe I needed a watered
getting
down.
Intimate. They are more than that even. So
okay, so I needed a watered down version of dating because I mean I was in a monogamous relationship, but it was 4 years, but it was college, so I figured like that very first early years we just trying to figure stuff out. But after that relationship, I knew the next couple of relationships I was in, like. We're not gonna do this. I'm not doing a 4-year courting, dating. I'm not doing it.
Right.
So, but I think, but I think for men, don't y'all know? Or does it take y'all 5, 10, 15 years?
So there's just like women, there's different levels to men. There's some dudes that don't know that are slow, which you know that. So I don't know if you can put it like all, one of those all. What's that? What did Marcus say?
Right. So so Tracy saying Marcus and her, they dated for 2 years total. They got engaged a little over a year and a half, Mark, and we agreed we wouldn't. Okay, and we were married in 6 months later. I knew he was mine 2 months in.
Okay.
He took longer to realize. Yeah, men take longer to realize that.
After I said slow, dang.
Yeah. I knew long before you. It took you a long time.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't date a lot either. So yeah, I agree with that. I didn't date a lot. So I just think I don't know. I think men. I don't know. It's just something I've always wondered.
Yeah.
So did you know that I was the one and you were fighting it? Like, what was it? Or you just wasn't sure?
So I think there's a lot of. I think fear comes into it. You look at other dynamics. I watched my parents. Of course, you didn't watch that stuff. Mm-hmm. You didn't, go through that same type of dynamic. So for me, I had a lot of other, factors play in my head. So
okay. 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 Whenever. Okay. All right.
My goodness.
Well, yeah. So
you're not gonna put the first name and middle initial on that. Redefine.
Okay. Actually,
okay. Okay. See what I mean?
Okay. So it was redefined. Okay. So for men, is it when I won't ever say I had a lot of girlfriends. So for men, is it that it's the fear? Like for you, it was the fear and stuff. So for him, he's saying he didn't have a lot of. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay. Let's be out. Okay. What for a male?
I like that got redefined.
For a male in today's society, if you're a man, what are you gaining? Go. No, I'm saying go now. Right now. Go ahead.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
For a wife?
If you're a male, what are you gaining from saying, "Yep, I want you right now"? I'm still trying to figure things out. Figure out if you messy, dirty. Let's just go ahead and do it right now. What are you gaining? In your head right now, if you're a dude, what are you gaining? Oh, our son right now, if he's getting married, what is he gaining? See, it changed right then, didn't it?
Okay.
Right now, if you're Tino, and you saying go out right now, go ahead and get married. Don't wait so long. Go ahead and get married. To his interest right now. Look at her whole demeanor, face, atmosphere, orbit, galaxy, and everything just changed, y'all. Perspective is a You see what I'm saying?
But
now you can see what I'm talking about, though.
Okay.
Where before you were like, why y'all so... Go ahead and put your foot...
But I was a good woman. I was a good woman.
No, take yourself out of it. Go ahead and be Tino right now and ask that same question. What's taking you so long, Tino?
Well, he's too young.
Whoa. I said ask Tino. You go ahead.
Well, I would never advise him to get married this young.
You pumped your brakes real hard right now. You done went and got a brake job and everything. Everything's slowed down in the room.
Oh my gosh.
We done went slow motion.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And you can't compare today's males to us. Absolutely. I agree.
You most certainly can't. You most certainly can't. Go ahead and put him back in our day. And it's, what would you tell him to do? You tell him to run on out and get married?
I still think there should be that time. Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. So
I'm never going to tell Tino to just run out and get married. I'm going to ask him to really pray for discernment. And when I say the dating thing, when I'm talking about 5 years, 10 years is a lot, but I still... You're
going to spin the wheel on me. No. Tracy, let me come to you. If Mace right now said, I want to get married, what would you tell him? Pros, cons, what would you tell him to do? If he said, hey, Mom, this is who I want to marry. Give me your advice. And just came to the door right now. Knocked on the door.
She just said it.
Go ahead.
She said, I would never tell Mace to register marriage with anyone. He needs to be able to support himself, love himself, be comfortable being himself, and without stressing over being lonely. Absolutely. So when you and I met, we had check, and check.
On the first day, all of them got checked.
I'm not talking about the first date.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to, you talking about what takes you so long. You trying to check box. You trying to make sure that you're not.
It takes you 10 years to check all those boxes?
Oh, I didn't say nothing about no 10 years. I told you I agree with that.
Okay.
No, I never agree with that. I'm just saying, you're asking why we don't be rushing to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not.
No, rushing. I don't think no 5. It don't take that long to figure that.
Right.
Those out. People don't act that long. People can act, and I guess my answer is people can act fake for a while. So I don't think you should rush. They can try to put on the front for a little while. So, but I don't think they can do it that long.
I agree with that. But I do think like a year or two, like you've seen. So I've heard that people say you should go through seasons with a person. And sometimes you might not like the happy season, sad season, grief, depression. Like you should go and see how they react so that
Right. They could already be on something. You know. Especially nowadays.
I think, so. But that, I mean.
Which could go to, some of that stuff is hereditary. So some of it, you really got to be careful because now you're passing it on to a whole nother.
Right.
So, right. You got to think of all that.
So the one thing that I will tell Tino to do differently, I know that I was, we were in the dating phase. I didn't really date your family. And I think it would have, and you didn't really date mine. I think it would have prepared us more. Not that I don't think that it would have changed our decision to get married, but I think we would have been better prepared knowing where we were going in. Because that was a knockout punch for me.
Right.
By the time I met, 26, comfortable with myself and happy and whole. Yes, 2 months. Yeah. It right, and I feel that if they're at that space, I think when you're too young, and you don't know yourself, it could definitely Definitely. Yeah. So being a husband is a huge responsibility. You always have the safety and security stuff, but you need to be comfortable in your own skin and not have someone else to question you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's not, there ain't no Daniel Stills written on that part of it.
Yeah,
You know?
and the family. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it's not talked about more that you probably should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
one good thing I will give your sister is I talked with one of your sisters.
Mm-hmm. And she called you.
Yeah, and said she let me know up front, like we're pretty tight. We talk a lot, we call a lot, which that was nice. She let me know, like, mm-hmm. like, are you sure? Because we're gonna be around a lot, and this and that. I'm like, okay. So I thought that was cool that she did that.
Yeah. So I think, whereas I didn't have that with your family, and when I married you, you would have thought I definitely took the golden child. And I wasn't prepared. And I think maybe, but what I will say, even if I had dated them, I just don't think it would have.
You might have changed your mind, so that might have been on line intervention on that.
So, okay. But
you might have ran out the back door.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. Because yeah, if I had been,
because on initial shock, I think you would have been like,
yeah. When it all started falling, I was like, what have I gotten myself into?
Right.
But I think, I don't know. I know I have told Tino and Sonny, make sure that maybe if I had known the dynamics a little bit better, I could have responded a little bit better. Because I know I didn't respond the best way. I was in my feelings. Yeah.
Look, but you ain't the only one. Look,
families will always be a trip. It's very important to know that exactly. that you yes, and you're right, because and I know that my family, there's some sides to us that he's probably like, whew, but yeah.
What I like is that I didn't have to. I think Tino has said things before I have sometimes about like your side, like how y'all do. He breaks down how my family does and how your family does.
Yeah.
He actually said one time, he was like, why is everything a teachable moment with y'all? That's what he said about my family. And we are like that. But it made me sit back and go, that's how we look to you. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. So it made me try to fall back a little bit and try not. What do you say about my family? Let him tell you that.
We got. I mean, I think every family has dysfunction. It's just how you navigate it. So let me see. Yeah. So okay, here's my perspective on family. You and your spouse need to understand who's most important. That right there. Yeah. And you need to defend your spouse and stand up for them.
Yes.
Never let anyone disrespect them.
Even your mama.
We gonna have that conversation. Because what I will say, this man, right. He defended me.
Yes, but you were absolutely right.
He defended me against his mother.
Coming from the mess, I knew to step up out of it.
Yeah. So he really, really defended me. Where I think, a not as strong person would have just sat there and let me go through it.
Which goes back to what y'all said about being confident in yourself. Because I was strong enough to know, no, you're not getting that off. We're not doing that.
Yeah. So, and it definitely, it causes too much turmoil. And me being the mother of a son, I really have to be mindful that the stuff that I encountered in our marriage, I don't project that, I don't know, mother of a son, because it's a different, because I didn't have brothers. So I didn't understand that dynamic of a mother and a son dynamic. Mm-hmm. And to see it was, I just make sure that I pray that I don't have that same.
What's that movie?
Fixation.
What was that movie where the dude he had like he was a mama's boy? What was that
movie? Shoot, Steve Harvey.
Yes. What was that?
Think Like a Man.
Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes the mom and the son are so close that the son can't see it. Like it took a lot for him to see it. It took a lot. Yeah, that son and mother, it's a different. It's a different. If you've never had brothers or anything, woo, I didn't. But I get it. I am a mama bear for Tino. Like I'm going to defend him. I just know that I'm gonna tweak it a little bit and be supportive and not possessive, because it was more a possession for you.
Okay, so why? So how was so now you're not the same?
Oh, I'm gonna be crazy for Sonny. Like I'm gonna be crazy for Sonny. But for most, like what they say, the sons get married and they move away.
Mm-hmm.
The daughters normally
Or around.
stay or around.
Not so nice. She said she's about it.
Sonny might flip the script and just. But Sonny and I will be able to talk. Like as Tino's getting older, I notice he doesn't need me as much, and so our conversations are a little bit different. And so I pray that I'm still supportive, giving him the things that I can see, and not being possessive. Because I know with you, I know what possession looks like, and it ain't pretty at all. I didn't understand it. It knocked me out, and it made me mad at him for a while because I'm like, how you just going, because I saw it like day one. It took him a little bit to see it, but there was like just petty stuff over and over. And
you gotta remember, I dealt with that and didn't understand I was even dealing with what I was dealing with.
Right. So yes. So because he thought it was normal. He really thought that mother-son was a mother-son, brothers.
I didn't know. I don't know if I thought it was normal, but I didn't know what else, what else it was. I didn't, hadn't seen anything else. I'm not saying I thought it was normal per se, but I was like, I guess you deal with family, whatever,
Okay, you deal with family. Okay.
But when it started going too far, though, I was like, okay, I guess I won't be dealing with family, certain family.
Right. So. Right. But I mean, it was a difficult thing. I wish I would have known some of the stuff ahead of time, and like I said, I think I would have reacted differently. I was in my feelings, and I didn't make it easier for him because I'm like, who you gonna pick? You married me.
But so, let's go here because they don't know this part of the story. How long has it been since I've spoken to the person you're talking about?
It's been years.
No, don't. How long has it been?
Let me see. Our daughter is 15 years. About 15.
It's been about 10 years.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying 15. It's
been about. They were older than that. They were like.
Oh, okay. They were. Okay, the birthday party was 15. Okay, so yes, it's been about 10 years. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So
it can be done.
It can be done. I felt when it did happen, I felt guilty because I'm like, maybe I should have handled it differently, but I don't know how I would have handled it differently. So let's see. Definitely have to be careful of who actually. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I adore him, but I know he's got flaws, and I'm hoping that I think a lot of moms think no one is good enough, right? Good enough for their sons, but it's truly an ego issue. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a different dynamic. Not only that, it wasn't just that. It was as I got older, I'm giving. I'm not as bad as my dad, but I'm giving. So some people take that for granted, take advantage of it. So there was times where if a bill needed paid, or I don't know, you needed picked up on the freeway or whatever, I would just you can call and I would go do it. Because I thought that's what you were supposed to do, as family. They're in need, but then, what Lisa helped me realize is how many times they got to call? How many different ones? How many times you gonna fall down and get a boo-boo? And I started looking at that thing like, hold on, you know what I mean? So now we got our own family. I could still help, but that takes away from here, this household, when I'm paying, even if it's just a $15, $20 bill or something, continuously, that's that's going to end up affecting here. And I had to go, wait a minute now, it's leave and cleave, it ain't. So you have to have the boundaries. You have to watch and see if somebody is taking advantage.
Yeah, the leave and cleave, like the husband and wife know, the parents, the extended family, not so much. So not so much. And I think for you, like, I felt you're my husband, but you're their husband too. I mean, as weird as that sounds, that's how it was. It seems, right. Yeah, it seemed that way. All sons are perfect to their mothers. I'm going to disagree with that. All sons are perfect to their mothers as soon as a woman shows. No. I want so my prayer is that he finds someone that compliments him and doesn't take advantage of him, because he has that giving spirit like you. Okay. And so that is my prayer, that he finds someone that compliments him because even in his dating now, he's a very good boyfriend. I'm like, yeesh.
Yeah, too good.
Too good.
That's running into husband material when it's stuff.
Yeah. So I just
it's too soon.
Right, it's too soon. Like they haven't done nothing. So we definitely tied into our family, and this is a choice that we made. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely tied into your family. Yeah. And you're right.
Oh, look, that's an interesting note.
We also have taken family into our house. Ooh, that is choice.
Ooh.
Okay,
that's different.
That's a conversation we need to have,
especially if it's two women. Am I wrong?
You're right.
Especially if it's two women in the same. It'd be one thing if it's like a brother, or you can kind of get that off. But if it's two women, I don't know. That's rough.
Yeah.
Even if it's the mom, maybe probably worse if it's the mom.
Now we had your sister live with us for a little bit.
I must have been really short.
We were in the apartment.
Yeah. We had one of your cousins for a little bit too.
Yeah. That was not by design.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a week. I think that was an extent. It was about a week because Sonny had just been born. It was about a week. Yes, and no one wants their child to be taken advantage of. So let's see. Oh, you had your uncle, your brother, your mom, and my hat is off to you. I
should be no pets.
I don't know. That's a different. Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we're
gonna might have to break that down one time.
A virtual call and explain that one, because
like how y'all made it through that. What did y'all set up? Boundaries, rules right away. How did y'all pre-discuss this thing between y'all and then with them, or how did y'all do it? I guess that's because sometimes you learn afterwards. So. See, a few friends. Good Lord, y'all just college.
Y'all wonderful. Yeah. I don't have the capacity to have somebody else.
At least it wasn't even that.
in my house. Like it bothers me.
I wouldn't even got that sentence out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is a different beast. We'll have to touch on that. Having other people, how does that affect the relationship when there are people outside of your children there?
Yeah. You said not all at the same time.
But even still, that was high. Yeah. I know that it changed the dynamic just a little bit of time your sister was there.
Mm-hmm.
And in a little bit of time my cousin was there. Yeah. So it does change. It changed, especially, and I'm just going to say this, when the woman is not, for me, if the woman is not my daughter, me and another woman in the house I'm going to be in my feelings.
Yeah. She could do a weekend maybe, but that's about it. That's probably about the longest she can
be. A weekend. Yeah. I have not been blessed with having. I can't share space with another woman.
No.
I don't want to share space. No, that would not.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know your limitations.
You probably could. I don't think that
you gotta know your
mentally. I think that would have to be a boundary that we'd have to.
Well, because
definitely draw.
The other thing is because you're an overthinker. Sometimes you're thinking somebody is saying something before they even say it. So that just doesn't work with women.
Intuition.
Okay.
Intuition.
Okay. We'll go with that.
It's rough dealing with family. My mother and my sister's family before. Yeah. That is it's just a different type of. Yeah, I don't even. We're gonna. I'm gonna have to write that down. We're gonna talk about that.
That's a good one.
That had never been on my list of things because I don't think I'm gonna allow it.
You don't think.
We can definitely give people strategies to get there. Yeah, I'm writing that down. We're gonna do. We gave it to us so we could refuse. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can give, especially as a family. Now, talking about putting ourselves in front.
What say you?
You have to be walking in spread. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I just know what my strengths are. Like, I know that my calling was never to be a teacher. I can't share space with another woman. Yeah. And the women who aren't for you, and live. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right. You absolutely right. Like, my hat is off to you. I don't have that.
See, that part, what you just did, I love that because you own you and you're honest about it. I can rock. I like that.
I think early on in our marriage, I probably when it happened, I was like, I'm trying to show you that I'm this team player. Now, no, we can find another way for them to help them. Outlaws, not in-laws, right? Right. Yeah. I just, I mean, and I don't even think like if my sister needed to stay with us, we'd have to have a conversation.
Yeah, because it would be you that would be like.
Right. Okay. So we took in family that fell on hard times. All were very close to us, but we decided no more. The gender didn't matter, although I lived with 2 men, so it was nice to have a woman around. But we need to have just us. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
That's a different point.
That's a different point of view. Yeah. That's not. Yeah. That is definitely
when you felt like you haven't had that camaraderie. So I
right.
But you had all sisters, so you've always had.
Yeah, and I don't. So
because it was just y'all 3 and your dad in the house.
Right? Yeah, so it was always women. So
y'all
I think I'm just good. I don't. It's not for everyone. You have to know yourself. Yeah, you have to know yourself. And early on in my younger self, I did it because I wanted. I'm a team, and like I said, at that point in time, I think early on in our marriage, I was trying to prove to the family that I was worthy of him because I felt like they felt that I wasn't good enough. So I took a lot just trying to prove to them that I am worthy of him.
And this whole time I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what you were doing because I didn't care what they thought. I had zero. I didn't care. But I mean, that's part of me having a big ego and everything else, being selfish and all that. But I really just didn't care. I was like, if you'd have asked me, if you'd have been asking me, I want to know what they think. I'd have been like, why? You know that. You know how I am. So when they ain't paying their bill, what you talking about?
Okay. So as a you always envision that you would have a good daughter-in-law relationship. Mm-hmm. When that doesn't happen,
you always envision.
I always envision.
I didn't give. There was other things I was worried about.
Okay. So it could have just been me. I could have, created. Yes, Miss Emma, I choose Team of Us. We going.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. And
I like that.
That is so when we talk about expectations, that definitely needs to be an expectation that is discussed in the beginning. Like it's you and me, and everybody else comes second. Yeah. Because there are some people that are brought up. Family is important. Family, you take care of family. We take care of family. And sometimes that's the detriment to, I've always said you can't pick your family. So that doesn't mean you have to I don't know. I'm weird about that. Like I have family, but I have some really good friends that I chose as friends that if I need something, I'm going to choose those friends because family has not always rose to the level that I needed to. Not that I hate them or anything to that effect, but you family, not by choice. I mean, you're there. So,
okay.
So okay. Yeah. So let's see, Mark. You didn't care what folks thought of me, but yes.
We are liking that way. Me and Mark, we roll them somewhere and we are.
Yeah. So and so that is the thing. So it was a blind spot for him when they. Oh my gosh! Yes, we will. And so maybe it's just maybe it's just a woman thing. Maybe it's just.
See how much of that. Yeah, let me. Never mind.
And it's crazy that the family that you joined doesn't always listen. Right? Oh my gosh! It's like you've got to. I don't even know if there's a meter that a wife is supposed to. I don't know, because I think like with my father, when I got married, my dad, his only requirement was that you work. Not that he had to fully support me, but that you contribute enough to the family, and keep her safe.
So there's also a dynamic of there's some people who are just bullies and pick on people and try to see if they weaken an area. Sometimes families do that because your family, when we went to your dad's side in Alabama, they ran off one of the husbands. Okay, because what they do is every year, right now your dad is
77.
He's 77. So I'm telling you, they've been doing this for a minute, right?
They are bullies.
When the husband comes in, okay, her sister had a different husband. She's remarried now. Had a different husband. I heard the story. Go to Alabama. They have a basketball game annually. We play basketball every year. Right now, still do it. He's 77, still be on the court. Okay? And be talking mess till you come out here. Shut up. Next. All that at 77. He's amazing. His brother, how many brothers?
He's about six of them.
The basketball team, at least. It's more than, I mean, when back then it was all of them. They was all alive. It was eight brothers or something. You get on the court, it's New York ball. Okay, you getting elbowed, you getting ribs, you getting knocked on the ground, all that, and they over there laughing. They laughing. They initiating you basically, right? One husband, he got up and ready to fight all of them. Me, I'm used. My dad's like that, so I came in there like what did I say? I said, as long as y'all don't hit me in the face, we good. And that moment I was go with them. They was like, oh, he's one of us. But you got to know you got to know what's going on, read the room, see what they're trying to do. They trying to see who they're bringing in. They bring in a punk, whiny. You know, the one dude was kind of he's a little bit of it is what it is. He was a little bit whiny, he's a little bit of a punk. They ran him out of there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So. But
what I will say, that was a one time a year in just the first initiation. Once you pass the initiation, you
right?
Go
they didn't. Yeah. That's
whereas
well. If you passed.
Now if you didn't pass, then every year you're going to get subjected to it. Yeah. But I think for women, when we marry into the men's family, that mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamic, it's always we trying to prove ourselves. Always. Yeah, so Tracy said, I've always been a mama's girl. All mamas like me, remember? Right. So I never dreamed of me. Yeah. It was right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I'm glad that she loves y'all now. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know.
Yes, it is. I actually looked around like, is there a camera? Am I being punked? Like, all right. Yeah. The first episode I was like,
yeah. So the men, I think
we're good now.
Like I think for the men, like I said, the dads or the men in the family, as long as they can see that the man can provide, is not trying to leech off of the woman, they get accepted.
No.
All right, you give a killer crossover.
Yeah.
Like Iris. Yes.
Listen.
Yes. So
he's 77, but he ain't.
Yeah.
I mean, your man can move. I'll be cracking me up.
Yes. So it's a different time, and I don't think it's ever discussed. Like I think, like I said, since I had such a horrible time being a daughter-in-law, I hope I do better with my son. I hope that I am more accommodating and more gracious with my son. You don't think so? I think I will be.
You do?
Yeah. As long as I know that he's not being taken advantage of, absolutely. Because I just want someone that's going to compliment him, and both of them work for a common goal. You can write it down. I'm just not going to hate because of as long as I feel that he's not being taken advantage of, and compliment him, because that's what I wanted for you. They knew that I complimented you. They knew that I carried my load, but for whatever reason, it just didn't. It didn't go.
Okay. Oh,
my dad knew him before I did. He was sending me. Okay.
That's funny because I didn't know your dad before I knew you.
Right. So it wasn't.
You played basketball before we met.
So Miss Ellen said I had people reporting my purchase.
Oh,
not reporting your purchases. That was a setup. That was a setup. Yeah. That was a setup.
Ooh.
Ouch. Whew. Okay, that's wow. I'm kind of speechless. Wow. Mark is like, she never hated you. She just acted stupid.
It's grown up time. See? Okay. Yeah. That's defending.
Okay.
Yeah.
That jealousy, that mom-son jealousy is a beast. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand why you're saying outlaws.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using that. Yeah.
Man.
Okay, let me see. I think we'll have to be careful about our perception of taking advantage of when it comes to our sons. Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
So And it could be just because I've always worked while we've been married. Like, unless that is a conversation that they have had, I don't want Tino to have to work while she's chilling at home. Unless that's a conversation, and then I need to know. I would just personally want to know why. Like,
wow, how do y'all? Is that every mom feel like that? No, I'm just asking. That's I've never thought about that. I never thought about how y'all felt about that. Like, you know, I never thought about that. I mean, because I can hear. I just never thought about asking you that. I've never asked you that. That's a good question.
It's not going to be our business as to why it's. Yeah. I mean, it's their head of household. I get that. I just. So what I will say that some guys can be blind to the manipulation. And it may take them a long time to come out of it.
Are we blind, or is that your intuition, or is it both, or what is that?
Right. In his house, his stuff. Yes. Good luck with his house. Right. So that's why I had the conversation before. Like, I'm going to be very clear. Like, he knows, once he gets to that level. That's but I hope that I'm giving him those conversations now. And he sees the dynamic between him and his, between the two of us, that he can make decisions. Right. You're right. Right. And I won't question it once it's there, but what I will say is that when he goes into that status of being a husband, he's going to be very clear on my thoughts and in the conversations that we've had. Like,
you do realize you're stuttering, right?
I'm not stuttering. We've had those conversations on what it is for him to give, and even his relationships now, we've had those conversations. He feels like I'm doing this and they're not doing that. And I'm like, so when you notice those things, they're showing you who they are. And sometimes that's not going to change. That's what I'm trying to get him to that space. Where, like you said, some people can be fake for a certain period of time. You jump in. If you do rush and you jump into that, then yeah. And I agree.
Yeah. And it's not just mother and sons, right?
These are my hopes and dreams. Like, I know for my daughter, I know, she about it. Like, she's real serious about certain things. So I know that there's certain things that she's just not going to allow. Where my son is a little bit more, and it could be just because he's young. I think girls mature a little bit quicker than guys. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. So I can perfectly, sees through and it could be before he gets married at the same time. I won't say, but yeah, it is their marriage. Yeah. We become like the mother-in-law we had. Right. You're right. Which is my prayer that I am not that possessive mother-in-law. That's my prayer. I mean, but I know what it feels like. So I think I'm going to strive to not make that person feel like that. Because it wasn't a good feeling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't realize you stutter.
I am stuttering because I'm
When you have trouble convincing yourself and us of things.
That's not why I stutter. That means there are a lot of thoughts going through my head. That's what that means.
Okay. Forest through the trees. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Because you've been married before, so there were some things that you didn't see in the beginning.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah. No. So.
No, and that's what.
But it took a minute, right? And then that's why it made me hesitant.
No, you see it, you just be like, wait a minute, hold on. You be trying to grace that thing, but because you are supposed to have grace. Remember that?
Okay, but, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, anyway.
Yeah, and maybe
if it becomes unhealthy and unsafe, then yes, you got it.
Okay. So, and Tracy said I was about a girl, but still got taken advantage of once.
See?
First love. See? Yeah, so I think everybody has that first love that knocks you off your feet. Knocks you off your feet. Yeah. Yeah, and we got right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to give our babies time to learn.
But I do think people tend to marry if you had a good relationship with your parents, seems like you kind of get close to the same thing. Like a lot of times. I'm not saying every time. I know in your mind you're thinking, you ain't nothing like, but I just think a lot of people do. Mine is a different situation. So
Okay, because I'm like, we gonna have to have a
I'm
sidebar.
talking about like most, like overall, not ever.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you that.
So,
all right. We didn't even get into the topic I had even planned for the day.
oh my God,
it's 8 o'clock.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's 8 o'clock, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. Yeah. But what I will say, next week we are having a virtual costume party. I will send out the link for Zoom, so we'll all be on Zoom. So dress up. Remember, you only got to dress halfway up, and the best costume is gonna get get a nice prize. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, just like my dad. Yeah.
Woo! Oh, who said that?
Yeah, I married the exact opposite of my dad. First love was just like my dad. Okay.
Oh, okay. See,
we're gonna have that's another conversation. I think,
and then you learn more about yourself, and you start choosing for yourself instead of
and it is all about knowing who you are. Yeah. And I have realized there is a level of selfishness with some parents. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's not taught. Yeah, yes, that's definitely not taught.
And then that's part of what you're saying. We don't want to repeat that.
Right, we don't want to repeat that. Yeah. Yep.
Some stuff is good to keep, but there's a lot of stuff that's not. Yeah.
So
we way over. Sorry.
Yeah. So get costumes for next week. Like I said, it is not a full body, so find something. And Marcus said he married his first love.
I'm trying to get points right now, real quick. It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
I guess we got time. Anyway.
So so we'll see. I'll send out the link next Sunday around this a little bit before for the virtual, and we'll all be on Zoom, and we'll chat it up and just see what everybody's thought processes are on their chosen couples costume. And the other person doesn't have to be there. You can be just one of a couple, so you could do that as well too. If someone has to work or something like that. But just want to do a nice little virtual. We haven't done that, just to see where everybody's at and things like that. So, as I always say, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. Make sure you get some date nights in. Make sure that you are communicating with care and connecting with intention. And got any thoughts?
No, just take care of each other.
Yeah. Give grace where it's needed. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye. Oh, now my customer. Oh, Miss Ellen.